What's going on, guys? So we are here in the Vanleigh Beacon fifth wheel. Sorry, we have everything pretty much laid out. We're living in this for a little while, so we have kind of the idea of what it's like, and we can go through all the little nuances and all the little details on things that they've done to see how we like them. And in our opinion, what we like about the things we see and what we dislike. But overall, it's to give you a better impression of what it's like to own one of these absolutely beautiful Vanleigh Beacon fifth wheels. So hang tight, I'll be right back. All right, so let's talk about some of the things that we absolutely love about this unit and some of the things that we could see done a little bit differently. And I'm going to go back and forth just so it kind of adds a little bit of, I guess, fairness to this rig. I want you to be able to understand what is really nice about it, but at the same time understand where we might be having some challenges. So first of all, one thing we really love, and it's in the bedroom right now, but it's the washer and dryer. Being able to do laundry in your RV is absolutely fantastic. Not having to go and pay to have your laundry done it's just absolutely amazing. And I love the fact that you can spec out these beacons with a washer and dryer already in them. Absolutely fantastic. I think we've already done 6 loads of laundry, so that is a must-have. And if you can opt for the $1,500 upgrade it generally might be, then I highly recommend you do it. I don't know much about the combo units because this is a stackable unit, but the stackable units are great. And the fact that you can wash in one and dry in the other, so you can kind of keep the flow going like you would if you were at home, absolutely makes sense. Now, one thing that we don't really care for is the lack of lighting on these keypads. I know we've brought it up in several videos now, but it even further kind of emphasizes the need for some type of lighting, some type of illumination, either around the keypad or behind it, simply because at night when you're trying to get up and you want to turn on an accent light so you can go use the restroom or go to the kitchen, very difficult to locate, and you end up pressing a bunch of buttons, and you could inadvertently turn every light on in the coach. So if you have people with you, you might run into a scenario where you illuminate the entire RV accidentally. Now, something we really like about this RV is the seating in here. This is absolutely amazing, and it's hard to want to go back to any other type of sofa or recliner or love seat after you've had these Franklin real residential furniture pieces in your RV. They are just the most comfortable RV furniture I've ever sat in. It's simply amazing, and they recline all the way. You can adjust the back, at least on the theater seating. On these, they are just extremely comfortable, and I just can't emphasize that enough. So the fact that Vanleigh uses real Franklin residential furniture in their RVs is amazing. I love the USB ports right there, the cup holders, everything works out really well. They don't have heat or massage, or at least if they do, I haven't found it, but they are the most comfortable RV furniture I've ever sat in, ever. And I have to just emphasize that because it's true. Now here's something that's a little challenging for us, because again, this kind of goes back to that whole scenario at night if you are wanting to use the restroom and you have somebody else in here with you and they're trying to sleep. When you close this door, it's loud. When you open it, it's loud. Closing it, not so much, but it's still not quiet, and there's really no way to go slow because this handle kind of triggers down to lock and unlock it. And that's just something that, again, I don't know if this is the type of handle that they needed to put here, and going for something even if it's a little lower end that's quieter I think would make sense. Also, having the ability to lock this would make a lot of sense, because you can't lock this from the inside, which means that, you know, if there's a bunch of people inside of your RV and they're moving throughout, somebody needs to use the restroom, there's a chance somebody could open it while you're in the restroom. So that is something that would be nice if they put a lock and put a quieter unit in place. Now, something that's absolutely amazing is the sprayer here. I don't know if this is technically a bidet, because it's not really, but it's a really good toilet sprayer. So if you want to clean out the toilet whenever you're done, if you want to, you know, clean it out when you're done packing, you simply press the handle down and spray. The sprayer only comes on when you're actually pressing the flush mechanism. But that is very nice. That is awesome. It would have been nice if they put something underneath there just to catch any water that might drip out the last few drops, but very, very cool feature to have. And so far, no complaints on the actual seat in here. So, you know, 4 people have used it. Everyone feels comfortable with it. I haven't necessarily sat on it or put all my weight on it, but it's definitely something that feels relatively sturdy. I don't think you'd have a problem with it as long as you don't abuse it, right? You don't try to put a lot of excessive weight very quickly on it. Just understand what you're dealing with here, but overall it's held up really well, at least on the first trip. So I can't necessarily talk about this in terms of the long-term reliability of it. First trip, it worked out really well. You can use it to hold all sorts of stuff, and ultimately it's very nice looking, and it really so far accents the RV well. So here's one that we've also talked about before, the wood trimming on the refrigerator door. I really wouldn't opt for this. I think it looks fantastic because it makes everything blend really well, but I also think the factory stainless steel on the LG fridge looks really nice. And by having this, you are required to have this space right here that protrudes off the front of the refrigerator and makes it difficult to open up your cabinets all the way. So you have to use stops at the top to prevent them from hitting right here, and it prevents the refrigerator doors from opening at all when the slide is in. But if you don't have these on here, you're likely to have pretty good access to getting into your refrigerator even with the slides in. So just something to consider, and it will save you some money if you don't get these. Now the thing we really like about this unit is this beautiful Insignia 4-burner cooktop. This is absolutely amazing. This is a full residential setup. What I like about it is you don't deal with that little spinning clicker to light it. You simply push the handle in, or the knob, and then you turn, and it works. Very cool. Very, very similar to a residential stove. And I think that's the point of this. This essentially is a residential stove that Insignia kind of perfected for the RV industry. Very cool, and a big thumbs up there. We also really like the Furrion convection microwave. We've used it in both standard microwave and convection, and it works really well. We were actually warming up some Krispy Kreme donuts in it, and it makes them essentially come out like they're fresh out of the oil, I guess. But overall, very nice microwave, full-size residential microwave, a lot of features, and it looks beautiful, especially above the Insignia cooktop. Okay, so as much as we love all the lighting in here, one of the biggest drawbacks to having this much lighting is how you select which lighting you're going to use. But at the end of the day, the biggest challenge we've found out isn't so much with selecting lighting, it's not having enough dim lighting. So in the bedroom, out here in the kitchen, in the living room, if you want to just have some really dim lighting for ambiance, or let's say you're in the bedroom and you're waking up and you have to get up early, you have to change, and you don't want to wake up your spouse, you want to have just a dim light inside of the bedroom that just illuminates very, very low, but just enough for you to be able to get around and get what you need. You don't really have that option here. And what that can inadvertently do is get you to press the wrong button on a keypad and turn on every light in the RV all at once. What would be really nice is if they have a switch, maybe in the closet, that you can just flip on and it turns on a really low glow light, perhaps around the bottom of the bed or inside of the actual closet area. There is a motion detecting light in the closet, but that one, again, it's too bright. And I think for folks who work and live in their RV, especially if somebody has to wake up early and they have to get up and get ready, having just a very dim light would work really well, especially if they just put it around the base of the bed, or if they put a small strip inside of the closet space that's just very, very dim, doesn't even require your eyes to really adjust, but gives you the lighting you need to move around and get the things you need without having to turn on a really bright light or fumble with these switches that you may not be able to see in the dark. Now this one's likely to come down to personal preference, but when you look at this dining room table setup, it looks really good, but they're doing what a lot of luxury RV manufacturers do with fifth wheels. They put folding chairs, which are these smaller chairs that fold and essentially go into the bed or in a closet or in the storage, and then they put these larger, I guess, slightly more comfortable chairs here as kind of a permanent fixture. What we really like is when they put kind of a uniform set of 4 chairs here that give you the ability to keep them here all the time. I don't want to have to fold these up, and I don't want to have to pull them out just because people come over. But a chair that's kind of in between the size of these 2 chairs, I think would work perfectly. And when you have these chairs here, you can see that it kind of forces everything kind of right to the edge of the slide. And that's the edge of the slide, even though the carpet overhangs right here. So what I'd like to see is chairs that are closer to that size, maybe padded a little bit differently or a slight bit larger, but just permanent chairs out here. They don't need to be folding chairs, but that's personal preference, of course. Now, something that I've absolutely grown to love is the AquaGo from Truma hot water system. This is a tankless hot water heater, essentially on-demand water. You have a couple settings for it, but it works flawlessly. We have had absolutely great luck with this water system. Love the fact that you don't have to kind of time your showers in terms of, how much water you're going to have available. This one is gas operated, so you have to make sure your propane's on. Doesn't use a lot of fuel at all, and it just works really well. We've had really good luck all the way around using this Truma AquaGo system, and if you have it as an option in your next RV, you might want to look for it because we've been very happy with this hot water system. Now, something that's kind of an obvious one, and it's definitely something we like, is the fit and finish overall. Just the cabinetry in general. The fact that they have trimmed everything out so well, it looks more like a luxury condo than it does the inside of an RV. The cabinets, everything from the slow closing drawers to the magnetic latches to the trim work, the backsplash, everything about the interior of this RV just screams high quality. And you can see a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of money goes into making sure the interior of these gives you that luxurious feel you're looking for when you're paying over $100,000 for a fifth wheel. But just absolutely gorgeous how they've trimmed this off. It just, again, when you walk into one of these units, you can't help but smile and say wow, because they do such an amazing job in terms of fit and finish, woodwork, and the quality. Have to give it to them. And I don't think there's an RV on the market that rivals them in terms of a towable product, a fifth wheel or a travel trailer. Lux, New Horizon, they all make good stuff, but the interior of these Vanleigh beacons, absolutely amazing. And a big one for my wife is all the storage. Just storage everywhere. There's cabinets and drawers, shelves, everything everywhere. You have tons of space to store things from utensils. You have this really large storage right here that you can put other things. You can throw shelves in here, put pots and pans inside here. Just a ton of space. Lots of storage in this unit. And wife absolutely loves it. And I think anybody looking for a lot of storage in their kitchen will love it. Something else that you'll appreciate about this unit is the flooring. Just the fact that they use a vinyl flooring that's actually tiled in place. So it's laid just like your standard tile would be, but it looks amazing. It feels like real tile. It looks beautiful, and it's definitely something that is a great upgrade that they do in their coaches. And when you talk about quality and you talk about fit and finish, think about the fact that this takes significantly longer to put this type of tile down than it would the typical rolled out linoleum that you would see in an RV. So you have to give them props for the amount of work that they put into making these beautiful. Okay, so we're back up in the living room, and the way they've set this living room up is they've put your two theater seats here, which recline and look at the TV, and then they have this love seat, which is actually more like a sofa, and then one opposing to it, so one on the other side. I don't think this one's needed. I think that you have plenty of seating with the one sofa and with these two theater seats, and what they could probably put here is a desk or some type of multi-purpose space. I think a desk would be absolutely fantastic, but just something else here, because this is definitely a couple's coach, right? You don't really have sleeping for more other than folding these two sofas out, but you'll still have one of the sofas to fold out. So it leaves you with this additional sofa that may not ever get used. And I think having a nice workspace here, a nice desk, or even another large pantry, a place that you can put your mops, your vacuum cleaners, things like that, that's tall enough for coats, whatever you might want to put, maybe on this side, and then on that side you have a really nice desk, or vice versa, so you don't have to be so close to the TV with your desk. So put your pantry right here and then have a nice big desk right here. I think that would make this absolutely amazing, especially for those people who full-time in it and need a place to work. And here's a big one that you can really appreciate if you live in the South, and that's the 3 air conditioning units. 3 Whisper Quiet air conditioning units, each one of them 15,000 BTU. These are really, really great systems. They're very quiet. You can still hear them, so don't think Whisper Quiet means that they're completely quiet, but they are very effective, very efficient. They do a great job cooling the rig down, especially when it's over 100 degrees outside. And just the fact that you have that option in the Vanleigh product is amazing. And it comes with the surge guard as well, which protects your system. It protects it when it's plugged into shore power and protects it when you're using it off of a generator. Alright, so here's a minor gripe, but you have these beautiful sconces on each side of the TV or this back window. They are the only things in this RV that aren't on a switch. You have to actually go up to them and turn them on manually, which is interesting. I wish that they would have put controls for those right here next to the chair, so you can turn those lights on and off while you're watching TV, or just have a little bit more control over them. And I also wish they put a master light switch here so you could turn off all the lights in the RV. If you're starting a movie up, everyone's getting comfortable, they're sitting down, and you're ready to turn the lights off so the movie can come on. It would be nice if there was a master light control here. You do have lighting controls for the trim, as well as these two lights above the slides on each side, but a master control there I think would have been really nice. And we're in the perfect spot to talk about the next one, slide top awnings. They come in really handy when you're in a spot like this where there's tree and foliage above your slides, so you don't have to get on your RV and sweep the top of your slide off. As you retract your slides, anything that has collected on the awning is just going to fall off. So if you plan on staying in parks where you're going to be surrounded by trees and things can fall on your awning, definitely would recommend slide top awnings, and they put them on all the slides, which is fantastic. That's a big thumbs up in my book for this type of RV in this type of camping scenario. And here's one that I complain about quite a bit, and not a lot of manufacturers have actually addressed it, and that's putting lighting on the connection side. I come out here occasionally at night and I have to do something, and if I don't have lighting, I have to bring my smartphone with a flashlight on or a flashlight out with me so I can see what's going on. So I would really appreciate if manufacturers would put some LED lighting across this area here that maybe turns on with the porch lighting and just gives you some additional lighting down here whenever you're having to do anything outside. Let's say the breaker pops and you need to come out here. It'd be really nice to have a nice LED spotlight on this side so it illuminates this side of the RV if you need to do any type of work. And I gotta say, I absolutely love these gate valves. The fact that they're electronic, that you don't have to reach down there and pull a cable that you hope doesn't break, just works really well. Very, very happy with having these electronic gate valves. I think that is an awesome invention and very cool to have. And the fact that, if they break for some reason or they don't work, you can access it from the back panel and you actually have physical handles you can pull. One thing that I forgot to mention that I would really like to see is a gate valve here at the end where the sewer connection is. I think a lot of RV manufacturers miss out there, and simply because anything that sloshes around inside while you're driving tends to get caught right behind the cap there, and when you open it up it comes pouring out. You can buy these Valtura aftermarket gate valves like I have here, but again, this is just something that should be standard on pretty much any RV, especially these higher end ones. So far that's it. Those are the things we love. A few things that we'd like to see different. Overall, this is a wonderful, wonderful full-time rated unit. I think if you got a beacon and this is in your budget and you're looking for something that competes very well against other units in this price range, you would be hard-pressed to find one that has as many features kind of baked into it, even though there's a lot to look at out there. So I'm not going to say that this is the very best, but I will definitely say it is up there and it's on par with others in its price range. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this relatively long video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll be back very soon.